Coal, oil and gas take millions of years to form, which is why they're known as fossil fuels. Eventually, we will use them up, so we need to look at other ways to make our power.
This might be the answer. It's called biomass and it's made up of plant matter or animal remains. And unlike coal, oil or gas, it doesn't take millions of years to create. In fact, it can take just 2 or 3 years. Biomass is known as renewable energy. Now, there are other forms of renewable energy.
For example, wind farms harness the natural energy of wind by using massive wind turbines to turn a generator, just like the one in a traditional power station. And because there's no boiler, they don't release any pollution into the atmosphere. And of course, we're never going to run out of wind.
There are a few drawbacks though. Wind farms don't generate anything like as much electricity as a traditional power station. In fact, only about a 20th. Also, there's the problem of where to put them, especially in a country like ours.
That's why companies are looking at a variety of locations when siting their wind farms. This one is situated off the coast of North Wales and generates enough electricity to power 40,000 homes.
And talking of water, that's another brilliant form of renewable energy. When it rains, water travels down from high areas like mountains and hills in little streams. These join together to form larger streams, which join together to form rivers, which eventually lead to the sea.
Hydro, or water power, is a way of interrupting this water on its way to the sea and using it to generate electricity. It's done by creating a very strong wall or dam right across a river. The water can be allowed to flow through the dam in special pipes. But before it flows out into the river, it turns a water turbine, and that, as you've probably guessed, is connected to a generator that makes electricity. Again, there's no boiler in this process, so no pollution. And another great thing is that these pipes can be opened and closed like a tap, so power can be generated at very short notice when it's needed, and the pipes can be closed when it's not. Hydropower is responsible for about an 80th of the energy we use in the British Isles. But one of the problems is that it's not that easy to find places to put hydro plants.
They have to be carefully monitored because stopping too much water in a river can cause problems for animal and plant life downstream. And of course, they don't work very well if it doesn't rain. A renewable energy source that does, however, is solar or sun power. This form of electricity is totally different to everything we've looked at so far. There's no boiler, no turbines, no generators. Instead, solar power uses these things. No, not calculators, but these. Solar cells which convert light, in this case from the sun, into electricity.
Solar power can work really well in countries with lots of sunshine and lots of space.
Unfortunately, we don't get much of either of those things here in Britain. So, unsurprisingly, none of our electricity is generated from solar power.
Even though renewable power only makes up about 5% of the total power we use today, it's very important that we keep developing ways to make it. Because although we're finding new deposits all the time, eventually there won't be any more coal, oil or gas for us to burn, and we'll have to rely on other forms of energy for all our power.
Another reason why renewable energy is so important is that when fossil fuels are burnt, a gas called carbon dioxide is released. Now, carbon dioxide occurs naturally in the atmosphere, but because most of us drive cars that run on petrol or diesel, fossil fuels, and because power stations like this one burn fossil fuels, we're releasing more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere than would be there normally.
Now, carbon dioxide forms part of our atmosphere, and one of the things it does is reflects a proportion of heat that comes up from the Earth back down again. Because the amount of carbon dioxide is rising, it's starting to reflect more heat back to the Earth than normal, and this is known as the greenhouse effect.
In the last 100 years, the Earth has warmed up by an average of 1 degree. We call this global warming, and scientists believe it could well be linked to the greenhouse effect. Now, a degree might not sound like much, but it's already having an impact on our weather. We can also look at how we use electricity. Most of us consume more than we actually need, and there are a few tips that will help you to use less. A power-saving light bulb is a great idea, and just turning the lights off when you leave the room can make a big difference. Only filling your kettle with the water you're going to use saves energy and makes the water boil quicker. Something else that's quicker is a microwave, and using one of these or a grill instead of an oven is another brilliant way to save electricity. Also, why not walk when you can and leave the car in the garage? And remember, you're not only helping the environment, you're also saving money.